Hello, Pearland. This is your COVID-19 update for the city of Pearland. I am Jason Jackson, Assistant Fire Chief with the Fire Department. I coordinate, plan, and oversee the current response to COVID-19 within our community. Today, I'm joined with Mayor Tom Reid of the city of Pearland and Commissioner Stacy Adams of Brazoria County. And we're going to talk a little bit about an update of where we're at with the COVID response within our community, where we stand, and where we are moving forward. Currently in the city of Pearland, we have 43 confirmed cases of COVID-19. And out of those 43 cases, 6 of those have been deemed to be recovered cases by the county. Unfortunately, we also have 1 reported death within our community at this time. We continue to coordinate and plan and collaborate with our regional and local and state, federal partners to provide the best that we can to you in the community and to be able to plan accordingly to help stop the spread of COVID-19 within our community. At this time, we continue to participate in regional and federal, state, local conference calls with our local partners, collaborating with our long-term care facilities, also our hospitals locally with you all here in the community. So as we get started today with Mayor Reid and Commissioner Adams, quick moment to let them have a moment to speak to you, to show a little bit of what they're doing on their end as the elected officials. We are all in this together. This is going to be a long-term event, as we have said for much time now, and continue to look forward to the cooperation we're getting from the community, from the county and the state, and our regional partners and local, state, regional partners. And at this time, Mayor Reid.
Thank you, Chief. First off, I want to say thank you to all of my citizens in the city of Pearland. We've been working together to defeat the COVID-19 virus. And we faced these challenges before, Chief, and I think that all of us recognize the ones we have in the past. But I think if we keep working together, we can have victory over this particular virus. Our city staff will continue doing the process, and has been for the last 2 months, keeping the services open. And as we go through the process of keeping the services going, I want everybody in the city to remember all of the fine city staff that we have that work seven days a week, which we call 47, and keeping the services going. And I think that's very important during these trying times. The state of Texas, Brazoria County, Fort Bend County, and Harris counties, along with Pearland, has implemented social distancing and requirements to stop the spread of virus. The reason why I mentioned Harris County and Fort Bend County, we are in Fort Bend County, Harris County, and Brazoria County. So we ought to have some partners who have established rules that we have to establish and keep in place in those particular areas. Now, if you have the virus, you don't want to keep it spread. So the idea is if you go outside, you're going to catch it. And if you do, we've got a major problem. And I'm asking that you stay inside, and that way you don't catch many of the viruses inside your house, if we don't do a stay in. To minimize the impact of the virus, to keep our citizens informed and slow down the stop of the virus, what I've tried to do is to install the mayor's proclamation. I had started one out in number 1, I believe it was in March of this year. And have just in this last Friday, I signed one that will continue us to April the 31st, continuing the Safe at Home proclamation issues. To get out, these are difficult times for all of our citizens, I realize, and if we work together, remember that the longer you stay at home in Pearland, the faster our curve goes down. If we get out and mix with each other, that curve is going to keep going and it won't stop. So thank you very much for the support that you've given us to date. And I would like to ask my good friend and fellow Pearlander, Commissioner Stacy Adams, to share some thoughts there from his perspective as Precinct 3, which includes Pearland and several other local cities.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. Keeping in line with what Governor Abbott's executive order, our County Judge Matt Sebesta has extended the Brazoria County stay-at-home order through April 30th. As we deal with the COVID-19 outbreak, your county essential services, such as county clerk, district clerk, tax office, among others, continue to operate but at reduced staff levels. However, we encourage you to do as many tasks as possible through online or through the mail on your county services. The Brazoria County Health Emergency Operations Center, under the direction of Kathy Spruce, Director of Public Health, and Judge Sebesta, are working to keep our cities, law enforcement, hospitals, and other community partners updated with a daily EOC conference call. This is so your local leaders will have the most current information regarding active cases, hospital updates, and other information. We encourage you to visit the City of Pearland or Brazoria County website for up-to-date information. The COVID-19 dashboard shows a cumulative list of statuses of cases in Brazoria County. That dashboard will be updated actually today with a new and improved version. Lastly, if you have questions or concerns dealing with the county, I encourage you to reach out to myself, Commissioner Linder, or Commissioner Cade, as we all serve the citizens of Pearland.
Thank you both for being here with us today. So tell us a little bit about what has been and continues to be your role in this incident, Mayor.
You know, I think the mayor is sort of the person that people expect to have the right answer and the right motive for what we're trying to do. And I think my role is primarily to make sure that the citizens understand what we're trying to accomplish, the severity of this virus, and the fact that if we work together, we could lick it and we would defeat this particular virus.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Adams, from the county's perspective, where do you stand with your position with the county in regards to this?
Basically pushing out information as it happens. A lot of things after the conference call and in the afternoon, the cases that are coming up and so forth, I reach out to my two cities that I'm commissioner of so that they could have that updated information to start working on their press releases in the before afternoon update.
Thank you. Mayor, what policies or measures have you put in place for the city of Pearland, the community in Pearland in regards to COVID-19?
Recognizing that this was a serious pandemic and it was moving rather rapidly, back in the first part of March, I put together what we call our Demand 1, in which we had a Stay Safe at Home proclamation. And as late, and we've had 2 or 3, I believe we've had a couple since then. And this last Friday, I implemented the last proclamation that would extend our requirements as stated in the previous declarations until 31st of April. And at that time, we'll make a decision where we are. It looks like, quite frankly, the curve doesn't seem to be going down as fast as we would like. And it is entirely possible that as we move toward down the calendar, that we may have to extend that 31st date if we are all going to stay alive during this proclamation and during this pandemic time.
Commissioner Adams, from the county perspective, what measures have y'all put in place from the county perspective?
Well, right away, our health director and Judge Sebesta activated the the health department's EOC. And at the same time, our PIO officer has been putting out information continually. A lot of what comes, our results and so forth, the cases, now that they are rolling in, it is very time consuming, and they've had to ramp up to have extra surveillance and to have people chasing these cases and the contacts from the people. So there has been a very robust enhancement of the personnel down there in the EOC.
Thank you. How important has regional collaboration been in this incident as compared to a hurricane, Mayor?
Well, you know, one of the things in hurricanes, we expect that every year. And we always live through that because it has a time it comes and a time it leaves. And this virus doesn't adhere to those schedules that everybody else is expecting from past experiences. So I think that we have to really pay attention to what our incident manager has put together, and you're the chief of that. Make certain that our citizens do follow the guidelines that we've shared with them, because if they don't, that curve is not going to go down, and our death rate is going to continue to increase. And when that happens, this thing blows, and it may be Christmas before we get through if we don't do the right things today that we should be doing. So I think it's important that we have cooperation from our citizens, a realization how serious this is and how important that the instructions that we extended, how important those are. So the proclamation that I issued until 31st is, I think, the latest position that I take on in that particular instance.
Commissioner Adams?
It is different from a hurricane or a flood from our standpoint many times, and I've been through both of those as a county commissioner. Normally in those times we're reaching out to the cities to say, what can we do for you out in the county, taking limbs off of roads and helping drainage problems. During hurricane, we were bringing people out of Twin Creek Woods and Brookside Village with our equipment, getting them to high ground. This is kind of a reversal where we're actually accumulating the information and pushing it out to the cities. So it is a little different as far as boots on the ground.
Where can residents go to find more information on COVID-19 related information?
I think I've got a good example of that. It's called our City of Pearland News release from our communications department, and I have a copy of it here. And it says the status where we are today. And if you need to know more about COVID-19, down at the bottom of the release, each day is released. Says go to visit pearlandtx.gov.coronavirus. And we know at least to know where it is, what the latest status is in our city, and our communications department have done a great job in putting these out for the citizens to have available and understand where we are at this point.
Mr. Adams, where can residents go to find additional information from Brazoria County?
Following the county on the social media, on Twitter and Facebook is timely, and on the county website at BrazoriaCountyTex.gov, the dashboard that's there today, that way people can follow and know exactly how many cases, what the status of each one is, the date that it was reported, and there will be an enhancement probably today with a lot more information on that front page of our website. So that's probably the most up-to-date information.
How often is that updated?
That's being updated continually. As far as the new cases, we're now doing that once a day. I contact the city manager in the cities during the day, unfortunately, of how many cases there are. And then usually between 4 and 6 p.m., the county puts out a master press release.
Thank you. Mr. Adams, what do the Pearland residents need to hear from you?
What do they need to hear from me? Well, I'm here to answer their questions. And like I said earlier, Pearland's blessed. We have 3 county commissioners. It's a big city. I know we all take questions, and I don't know, other than helping dispel rumors that take place, and I can't encourage people enough to reach out, whether it's your council member or a county commissioner, when you hear something that might be a rumor. That's really what we're here for, is to give you the most up-to-date information that we can.
Mayor, what about yourself? What do the residents need to hear from you, sir?
You know, I think one of the things I expect from the mayor is to keep them abreast of what's going on and share with them the information. And I make certain that they hear that the services are going to continue, and to also realize that there's a 24/7 duty time for our city employees to make that happen, and to remember and to thank them later for the job they've done. And I think I need to hear what the status is each day. You know, the communication department puts out a release, which is pretty thorough. But I think they read it, but they want to hear it verbally from someone. And my job is to try to put out as much information as I can, and I do call organizations, respond to some of the emails of people concerned, and say that we're working to make this thing a win for us, great zero loss for the virus, and that if you will follow what we're trying to do, which is based on the best judgment, not only of Pearland, but the county, state, and the nation, in the leadership saying this is what needs to be done, because they're listening to the medical doctors and the people in charge. So if we can make certain that the people understand that this is serious, it's not going to go away immediately, and they can make their positive contribution by following the requests that we ask you to adhere to, because those are the ones that make that curve go down. And I think if I keep doing that, it's kind of like a little fireside chat like Roosevelt used to do back during World War II. So it is something that we need to make certain that that the mayor's not panicking, and the mayor's paying attention and is concerned with what happens to his citizens.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Adams, do you have any final thoughts or comments?
Yes, as the mayor said, really, we just all need to do our part. This is not going to be a short term. I mean, we know it's at least a month now. And as we move forward, if you have questions on the county website, there is a phone number. We have a COVID-19 hotline so that you can call and ask health questions. It's answered 6 days a week by nurses and health professionals, so that everyone can feel comfortable if they have any health problems and they can't get a hold of their own doctor. But yes, it's going to be a little long haul, as the mayor said, and we just all need to do our part.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here with us today and providing some comments to the community. It is very important to us to have elected officials such as yourselves and the others that are here within the city and the county and within the region and the state collaborating with us. As I lead this charge for the community with COVID-19, it's very important to be sure that we have the collaboration and cooperation that we do with our elected officials and all of our partners. And I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for being here with us. And we'll continue moving on. We're in this together, and hopefully at the end of this, we'll have the win that the mayor talked about, and we'll be able to get through this together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.